Hey guys, just wanted to run through the UFC card really quick. As promised, we have Fight Night this weekend, tonight actually, and just wanted to go through some of the picks real quick. Promised that I'd be posting them. Here's the first one. So, first off, main event, we have Jairzinho Rozenstruik against Augusto Sakai. There's not a lock here, but I do like Rozenstruik. I think he has an ability to defend the takedown. It's not great, but he's been improving every fight. Against a guy like Augusto Sakai, who has a great, or Sakai, I don't know how you say it. Great ability to take guys down, but doesn't have the tank. Not that Jairzinho does. I just think Jairzinho's got much heavier hands, an ability to take a little bit more of a punch, and can end this fight really early if he comes out dangerous. I think the heavyweight division in the UFC has that top 5 or 6 or 7 guys that they hang around, and then everybody else, and there's a huge fall off. And to be honest with you, I still consider Jairzinho one of those guys. I like him. I think he's there to stay. Don't forget, he had a shot at the title not long ago. So definitely think that this is a good fight. I think it's going to go into the second round. I don't think it'll be a quick stoppage, but I think Rozenstruik will ultimately get it done. Let's go to the co-main. Marcin Tybura, Walt Harris. I got nothing on this fight. I like Tybura. I have him in a small parlay. Walt Harris has just lost, and I love him. I very rarely would ever bet against him. He's just lost too many fights recently. Over the last few years, he's fallen down too far, and especially against top-tier talent. Top 15 guys, he does not perform well against. Marcin Tybura is in that category. I think he takes it home. Let's skip down to Miguel Baeza. I have a 2-unit bet on him. I like him a lot. This is mainly a sharp money play. A lot of the sharp bettors and the pro bettors are all over Miguel Baeza. I think Ponzinibbio, the Argentinian, has fallen badly and really lost a lot off his fastball, if you will. Hasn't fought more than once in the last 3 years. I think he only had one fight, and he lost that fight last year. Just really has fallen off a bit, and a guy like Miguel Baeza can really take care of business early. I don't hate the inside the distance play there for value at a quarter of a unit. Next one, Duško Todorovic and Gregory Rodriguez. Talked about this one on the live stream. Here's what's good about this fight. Duško Todorovic and Gregory Rodriguez are both super in shape, have very high conditioning, and they can both take a punch. They have really, really good chins. I love Duško Todorovic, but unfortunately, he's overvalued by Vegas in every single fight that he's in. Almost every fight, he's a minus 200 or better favorite. Look it up. Every fight that you've been able to bet on, he's a heavy, heavy favorite, including the last one that he just lost. So when you see a guy like that, who's always a minus 200 favorite, drop all the way down to minus 130, I'm taking the plus money on the other guy all day long. There's a lot of value there. I don't think Vegas puts enough in Gregory Rodriguez, and I think he comes home with the win tonight. Then, for the lock. First leg of the lock. I have it's a 2-leg parlay. So 2 guys, and it's a 5-unit bet. The first leg is Tom Breeze. Tom Breeze has, as I mentioned before, he's the conditioning of an absolute animal. The guy just does not get gassed. And as I mentioned on the podcast, he's a jack of all trades. He's working his way into becoming a great jiu-jitsu artist. He's working his way into becoming a B-plus level boxer. He's not there yet. But against a guy like Antonio Arroyo, who has absolutely no gas tank, he gets gassed in the second round of every fight he's ever been in, as long as it makes it that far. I think Antonio Arroyo goes in with a flurry. First 2 or 3 minutes, he tries to knock Breeze out. Breeze has beautiful head movement, will be able to take the fight to the ground, and he will gas out Antonio Arroyo real fast. I think this fight is undervalued, and I think, to be honest with you, Tom Breeze should be a minus 400 favorite in this fight. So I'm taking the minus 250 with Tom Breeze as the first leg of that parlay. Next you have Montana De La Rosa, Ariane Lipski. I don't love this fight, but I do have a small one on Montana De La Rosa getting it done inside the distance. And I like Ariane Lipski. I think that she's undervalued by Vegas. I think generally she hangs into these fights. She puts up a great fight. She wins some, she loses some. She's kind of a bit of a journeywoman, if you will, by now. And I think she's come a long way, but she's only in the beginning of her career. She's still very young. So is Montana, and I think it'll be a good fight overall. I really make this fight as a minus 190 favorite, not a minus 300 for Montana De La Rosa. So we'll see what happens here. I have Montana in a small parlay, and then I have her in a small quarter unit or half unit little prop that I put on the card. Tanner Boser and Ilir Latifi, they both have very average gas tanks. They both have massive power, but Ilir Latifi's a bit older. Tanner Boser's he's not a spring chicken anymore either. And generally, I don't like betting on heavyweight fights, so I stayed away from this one. I think Tanner wins it. I just don't like betting on heavyweight fights that are middle of the road with older guys. You never know what can happen. Anybody can get knocked out. The number one fight that I think you should stay away from tonight is the Makwan Amirkhani and Kamuela Kirk fight. Don't see any value in touching that. Amirkhani's way overvalued, and Kamuela Kirk we don't know enough about. I jumped one there, though. Francisco Trinaldo and Muslim Salikov. Now, this is going to be a little tricky. Francisco Trinaldo is a plus 195 underdog, but because he's 42 years old. He hasn't had a great history lately, but overall, he's beaten some big champs in his career. He's a top dog. He's beaten some serious contenders. Muslim Salikov is a journeyman. Hasn't beaten the same level of competition, but he's 6 years younger. That doesn't mean he's young and, I'm super excited because of how young he is, but I do like him in a small parlay. 6 years younger at that old. There's only one man that I'll ever bet on at 42 years old, and it's Glover Teixeira. After that, we have the next leg of the parlay, the last leg. Mason Jones. He skyrocketed from a minus 280 favorite all the way up to about minus 400 as of the opening of the fight. I think he's going to come home with a victory. In fact, I put a quarter unit on him, winning inside the distance by knockout, TKO, or DQ. I like the value there. I think it was minus 106 if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but it's on my card. Mason Jones and Tom Breeze are the locks for tonight. That's the parlay lock. It should be right around minus 130 as of now. I got it at plus 104 a bit earlier, but it's okay. It's still very much worth it at minus 130, minus 135 even. The last three legs here, I have nothing on that Menon Fiorot and Tabitha Ritchie fight. Don't see any value there. Sean Woodson and Youssef Zalal. I like Zalal, but I didn't bet him. He's a plus 145 underdog. Can Sean Woodson get the job done? Absolutely. The problem with Woodson, he's 6'2" and he's a featherweight. He's 6'2". He's 145 pounds. Do you realize how skinny that is? He has a massive reach on everybody, and he's a great grappling ability, but he's just too skinny, and he just doesn't have the power. I don't like him at minus 180. I think that's insane. And then lastly, the Claudio Puelles and Jordan Levitt fight. Jordan Levitt, I don't know how to say it. Very goofy guy, very awkward fighting ability. But his last fight, he won it by slam knockout in 22 seconds. I see a lot of talent in this kid. He's up and coming. He's making his way through the ranks in the UFC. He's a minus 210 favorite, and I think Vegas nailed it. That's where I have him, and that's why I put him in a two-leg parlay. Thanks for checking in, guys. Hope you make some money tonight. Looks going to be a good fight. Starts at 4 o'clock, so get those bets in early. Check in with you next week.